Hey everybody, Adam and Danger here with Sports Capitalist coming at you with our Week 14 main slate breakdown. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you get alerted right away when our videos come out. As you know, if you're any form of DFS player, whether you are serious or kind of new to it, having the information as early as possible is crucial. So make sure to do that. Like and comment on the video as well. We're always open to feedback and always want to see who everybody else thinks is going to have good weeks, bad weeks, that sort of thing. Always good to get varying opinions in the daily fantasy world. But coming off of a solid week for me, I don't know about you, Danger. I know for anybody that watched our last video, Danger did pay up on his Lions to win bet. I should have put more on the line for that one, but the Detroit Lions finally got it done. Did you watch any of that game, or at least the ending?
I watched like the second. I think I watched like most of the fourth quarter just to ensure that they were going to lose, you know. But dude, that like those last 5 minutes are totally wild, man. And oh man, I've never seen a coach. Zimmerman's definitely getting fired this year. There's just no way.
Yeah, he's got to.
Yeah, man, that coverage was just way too soft on the very last play. Like, why even allow them to go into the red zone, dude? Just so crazy, dude. Like,
well, it couldn't have been as bad as the last year when the Jets were still winless and they were about to beat the Las Vegas Raiders, and then Greg Williams ran a cover zero blitz. And Henry Ruggs catches the game-winning touchdown.
Dude.
Oh, we were so close to Trevor Lawrence. But that's all in the past now. So, did you have a solid weekend?
Yeah, I did, man. Definitely won some good money last week for sure, dude. Yeah. My Lamar Jackson lineups didn't work. But, hey, you live and learn on all
Ugly
that.
game there. The Tom Brady paid off, and then had some good Justin Jefferson exposure too. So
nice,
that was solid for me. I would have had more Javonte Williams. Of course, like one of the few weeks I don't play him.
Oh yeah, and he was pretty cheap last week too, if I remember right too. Yeah. He's definitely not going to be after these next couple of weeks, man. He's been scoring like 30 points a game. It's just wild, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, let's just jump into it right at the top, man. So the most expensive QB for this week is going to be Patty Mahomes, reigning supreme again at 8,000, which is they're going against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders have given up 28.5 points. And again, guys, if you see what's on my screen right now, this is the in-house stuff that we do release to the public around Sunday. Really good, a lot of good information to make sure you get the the most informed info on what's going on in the league. Yep. But yeah, what are you thinking about Patrick Mahomes just straight from the top?
He's in my top 5. I think he's a good cash play. But at 8,000, we just I don't know, that the Chiefs offense just hasn't had that.
Dude,
like we've seen in previous years.
They really haven't, man. They haven't been performing, and even everyone say oh, Chiefs are back on top. If you look at their last few games, man, you can't. If you're a fan of football, you can't convincingly tell people that the Chiefs are back. They have not been themselves at all this year.
Yeah, and so for 8,000, you really want the old Patrick Mahomes. You want that 4 touchdown, get a little bit of rushing upside out of Patrick Mahomes, and that it just hasn't been there this year. And so for GPPs, I probably wouldn't go Patrick Mahomes just because I don't know that it's tough to say that the upside isn't there with Patrick Mahomes, but just looking at the offense this year just hasn't been there. So he's still in my top 5, but if we're talking about GPP plays, there's a few guys that I would rather play ahead of Patrick Mahomes.
I have to say, everyone in the mid 7,000s and up, I'm not really interested in this week. I think there's tons of good. Yeah, I think there's tons of good players in the mid value that you can definitely plug and play.
I've got two in that kind of mid to high 7,000s range that I actually like better than Patrick Mahomes.
Is one Tom Brady?
One is Tom Brady, and the other one, Tom Brady, is just one spot above Patrick Mahomes in my model. And the other guy in the same game is Josh Allen. And I know we've talked about how Josh Allen's rushing upside hasn't been there, but we've also talked about how Tampa Bay's defense hasn't been as strong as kind of what they are on paper.
Yeah, and they're severely struggling on cornerbacks too.
Yeah, and if we want to go on brand, if you've watched our videos, you know that we like to look at the over-unders. The Buffalo Buccaneers game is the highest over-under on the main slate at 53.5. It's the only game that's above 50. And Tampa Bay is only 3.5-point favorite. So Vegas thinks that it's going to be close, and both teams are going to be able to put up points. So either way in that game, Josh Allen and Tom Brady, I know it was gosh, what an ugly Monday night game.
I mean, that's just from the
Bills
weather, man.
Patriots.
Yeah, dude,
but,
that was some old school football. that game.
But I think this is a really good bounce back opportunity for Josh Allen. So
yeah,
I like both of those guys if we're talking about guys in the mid-tier 7,000 in the mid to high 7,000 range. Both of those guys I would rather play over Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and just to speak on the Josh Allen narrative, like AFC is completely up for grabs right now. Mm-hmm. The highest winning team and the lowest winning team that are like in contention for playoffs are 2 games off from each other. So it's literally anyone's game right now. So Buffalo does need a win. They need a win like the rest of the year. So just seeing like that, them knowing that they need to beat Tom Brady, yeah, you can expect some good stuff out of Josh Allen this week. I'm going to go a little cheaper than all that, and I'll say I'll say this guy's second because I always go to him, but I'm definitely thinking Dak Prescott is right there. I mean, I can't believe he's not in the 7,000s going against this Washington. The only thing I could think of is just because his receiver core is a little banged up right now. Even when his 2-star receivers weren't in, he still had like a 30-point game with like Gallup and Wilson and all those guys. Dak Prescott, I think, is just an amazing play here. It's going against this Washington defense.
Yeah, and we talked about how Washington's defense has fallen off over the past few weeks.
Yeah,
ignoring the Tom Brady game. But they're missing Chase Young, even if his wide receiving core is a little banged up, and his running backs are a little banged up too. So all of that kind of opens up Dak Prescott's rushing upside. So you're right. I can't believe he wasn't priced in even the low 7,000s.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's Dak Prescott is my QB2 at the moment. So I'm right there with you.
Is your
with Dak even with the injuries?
Yeah, and I mean, let's be real too. CeeDee Lamb is the wide receiver one. He's back. He's looking. Yeah. He still looks good even after the injuries he's had. Amari Cooper, on the other hand, is a different story. But yeah, you'll take credit for the CeeDee Lamb.
No, I'll take the L on CeeDee Lamb because a few weeks ago I said that Amari Cooper was still the wide receiver one in that offense, and that is not the case. So I'm not going to shy away from that.
Yeah, but, man, that's just not the case anymore. But like, I think the other person I would have to go to is going to be Justin Herbert. Again, I go to this well like every week. He's only $400 more than Dak. He does have a lot of rushing upside against a very dysfunctional New York Giant team. I think this is gonna be like I think the ceiling could be extremely high for this game for Herbert.
Yeah, I think it's a little capped though, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Keenan Allen and Mike Williams just got put on the COVID list.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, so
I did not see that.
Now,
okay,
he can still get it done because it's the Giants.
Yeah.
But that's impacted the over/under. The over/under is only 43 in that game. The Chargers are still 10-point favorites.
I don't know how I missed that. Definitely disregard Justin Herbert then.
I had to double check that. Now, but I will say I still think he's an interesting tournament play because I think he'll be under-owned because of that. And
gotcha.
The Giants are a bad enough team that, all he has to do is dump it off to Austin Eckler a few times and maybe and for if Austin Eckler gets receiving touchdowns as opposed to rushing touchdowns, that could open up an interesting possibility where Herbert could get you there. But I think his upside is capped. I would much rather 99 times out of 100 save $400 and play Dak Prescott.
Yeah, for sure. And with that talk about speaking money, what are we looking at here for like the value picks this week? I really only see like one, man, and I think it might catch you off by surprise too.
Yeah, so I've got a couple, and they're not crazy jumping off the page at me. I'm kind of off the Joe Burrow wagon for a while.
That again
just hasn't been there.
Yeah, they're a run first team now.
Yeah, now one guy that I was surprised is as high as he is in my model is Taysom Hill. Is that who you were?
Man.
Where you were going with?
Oh, dude. Yeah, go ahead.
Boy, the New York Jets could not stop a nosebleed against Gardner Minshew and the Philadelphia Eagles offense. It was a shoot. I think that game hit the over at halftime because they were just trading back and forth. The Jets offense was doing everything they could. And then eventually there's not much more you can do because the Philadelphia, not just Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts would have
annihilated him.
He would have set single game records against the Jets defense. They were so bad. Gardner Minshew and the Eagles offense scored on every single offensive possession except for one. Touchdown, field goal, something. The Jets never stopped them up until like their last drive when they were just trying to chew clock, and that was it. So the Jets defense is very bad. And you might think, oh, he's got the rushing upside, but what can he do passing against the New York Jets? He can do a lot.
Yeah.
So Taysom Hill at 56. Yeah. Don't overestimate him. He's on the road. They're in New York. Maybe it's a bad weather game and that would change things. Because it is again in New York, New Jersey, but I watched that game, and the saving grace was that Zach Wilson looked great, but the Jets defense was
abysmal.
Horrific.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off the Hill train, dude, like, yeah, he did not do well against the. Well, I should rephrase that. It literally went all downhill. I will take that joke. Like in the second half of the fourth quarter, man. That's literally when he threw all his interceptions. If he did not throw those interceptions, he would probably be above 30 points during that game. I think he was like top 3 highest. And like man, it would have been wild if he did that, man. Because who knows? Maybe he did connect on that one touchdown pass that should have gone. And I know he's got the bang-up finger similar to Russell Wilson, during like week 4 or whatever. Yeah. But if that's the case, he might run more, and we might get more value and more money and more points out of that. I think Taysom Hill is a really good play this week. Taysom Hill is what I wanted Cam Newton to be like the past like couple of weeks, ever since I've been praising him. But yeah,
Cam Newton was the other guy before we get into running backs. Cam Newton was the other value quarterback that I was going to mention. He's only 5,400, so slightly cheaper than Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
The Panthers just fired their offensive coordinator.
Oh, that's right.
And so this is maybe a narrative thing, but it just seems like whenever a team makes a move like that in the middle of the season, people tend to fade that team, and then that team like crazy outperforms whatever their expectation is, maybe because they got a new fire, or maybe they didn't actually really like the offensive coordinator, but
maybe it was really his fault. Yeah. Gonna be a number
whatever
of
the
things.
case is, Cam Newton at home against the Falcons defense, new offensive coordinator. I like him as another value play. I'd rather play Taysom Hill, but it's close.
Gotcha. All right, and we're not having any love for our boy Trevor Lawrence this week going against Tennessee.
Not this week. Not this week. The Titans, as poor as the Titans have been lately, that they have Jacksonville's number.
Is Julio
at
Jones
least on the
and
defensive side?
Is Julio? No, Julio Jones. You know what? I'll say that for the wide receiver.
Yeah, we'll say that. But Julio Jones,
he's active now, right?
Yeah, he's still technically on IR, but I think he's coming back. Same with AJ Brown. Tennessee's coming off a bye week, so
gotcha.
They had the extra week to get healthy and prepare. So no, the Titans coming off a bye week, they're up there and trying to get the top seed in the AFC. I'm not interested in any. Well, I shouldn't say I'm not interested in any Jacksonville players, but I'm not interested in Trevor Lawrence this week.
Gotcha. All right. Well, with that being said, we're moving on to our running backs here, and a moment of silence for CMC and Jonathan Taylor, who's not playing this week. We don't have any running backs in the 9,000s this week, but the highest, and I saw this earlier and I didn't know why, but from what you told me, it makes a lot more sense now. Austin Eckler is the highest running back for this week at 8,300, and that's of course without both Keenan Allen and Mike Williams this week.
Yeah.
Again, I guess it's if you're gonna get COVID, might as well do it when you play against the Giants. But how are we feeling on the number one running back for the week?
He's in my top 3.
Really?
Okay. Very safe play for sure because he's going to get some extra targets from the receivers being out. There's definitely a scenario where they get up and then they just try and run the ball out and shoot the clock, which would also benefit Austin Eckler because they don't tend to give it to any of their backups really. And it's a lower over-under game, which tends to favor the running back. So he's still in my top 3, but because he's the most expensive, there's 2 guys currently in my model that are jumping up above him. But that's purely just based on price. He's projected for me to have the most fantasy points among running backs.
I usually do this, but I should have looked up the injures and IRs. Is Alvin Kamara is still definitely out, right?
No, I think he's coming back.
He's coming back this week?
Dude,
that like
he's my RB4 right below.
So do we not think that Taysom Hill might vulture some rushing yards from him then?
I think they're just going to keep it on the ground a ton in general. The Saints aren't very deep at the wide receiver position. I think they can run it. Yeah, and they can run it on the Jets defense. So I think Kamara's upside is a little capped because Taysom Hill is starting at quarterback. But again, similarly to Eckler, I think he's a safe cash play.
Gotcha.
But the upside for a GPP, I'm not as sure of. One, Eckler, because I could see a scenario where they just chew it out and they don't have like that shootout game that might get him more receptions than normal. And then Kamara, because Taysom Hill starting a quarterback might eat into his rushing potential.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I don't hear me out on this. I don't think Kamara's rushing is going to get vultured. I think what's going to get vultured is the short passing play to him. And so I think Calvin Kamara is going to get hurt like even more because of that.
Gotcha.
Since it's in the PBR. I mean, so basically what you're saying, yeah. But who are we looking at here, in the 7,000 range?
Yeah, so one guy that's slightly cheaper than both of them, our boy Joe Mixon, who's been on an absolute tear lately.
Seriously.
At only 7,700, going against the 49ers defense, which we've seen is not as good against the run as they should be on paper. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for Joe Mixon. In the past few weeks, I've championed going after the Bengals passing attack, and it's just not the way their offense is structured at the moment. So Joe Mixon's going to get a ton of volume, and I think he has more upside than Eckler and Kamara do. So Mixon, in terms of the guys towards the top, is my RB1.
Gotcha. I definitely have to agree with you there. I think, yeah, we keep going back to the Mixon well every week, but it's been paying off every week. And like I said, like I said in a previous episode, I'm not gonna choose something different just for the sake of difference. You're here because you want our honest opinions on things, and we're trying to, and obviously to make these picks to have the right picks to make money. So I'm not just gonna be like, oh man, you should definitely start Ezekiel Elliott. That is a terrible play. Please don't do that. Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott is not worth 73. I wouldn't even start him if he was like 55 right now. He's
a hot take,
dude. He, in my opinion, right now, because I own him on both fantasy teams that I have, he is super red zone dependent right now. I would rather have Tony Pollard if I had to choose the two. Anyways, that was my rant. Yeah, I totally agree with Mixon. And Fournette is up another, like, I think $200-$300, man. Like, is Tampa Bay a run offense now with this going on?
It's tough. It's tough to gauge. You know, they seem to be a run offense one week and then a pass offense the next week. So it's a kind of pick your poison, kind of like the Rams, where either Stafford or Henderson's going to have a big game. It's usually not both.
Yeah.
Fournette is my RB5 right behind Kamara and Eckler. So yeah, he's certainly up there, even with his price increase, showing that he's still well worth it.
Gotcha. And someone that actually we've, have nothing but praise this guy, I think, ever since we started this show, is probably Cordell Patterson.
Yeah.
He's down $100. I don't know how. He had a pretty good week last week, if I remember. Like, he got near close to like 20 points. Yeah. He's going against Carolina. Defense sucks. Man, start this dude, man.
Yeah. Like Cordell Patterson.
Yeah.
Couple value guys that I want to bring up. So very surprised based on how he performed last week that he's not priced up higher, but Antonio Gibson's only $6,000 going against Dallas. He's a very integral part of that offense. We talked about how we'd love to see Taylor Heineke in the playoffs, and what a story that would be.
That would be sick.
But let's look at it from a football perspective and understand how limited Taylor Heineke is as a quarterback, and Washington needs the run game in order for Heineke to be effective. So Antonio Gibson, I think, is a crazy misprice at only $6,000. That's if you're trying to get like a good running back and then like a value running back, if you can squeeze in Gibson at $6,000, I think that's a crazy good play. Some guys in the 5,000 range. So Javonte Williams went nuts last week.
Yeah,
he got priced up to 5,900.
Is Gordon out?
No. He logged a limited practice.
Okay.
So
he's questionable then. Gotcha.
Yeah, he's questionable. I think it's something to monitor. If Gordon ends up being out, then 100% Javonte Williams against the Detroit Lions at 5,900. He had a crazy game last week with Melvin Gordon being out. He got priced up to 5,900. Melvin Gordon is questionable. He logged a limited practice today, today being Thursday. So that's something to monitor. If Melvin Gordon is out, then 100% Javonte Williams at 5,900 against the Detroit Lions is the move there, more so than Antonio Gibson.
Okay.
I think now that the Lions finally got their first win under their belt, I think now it's the time to start fading the Lions. They got their first win. That's great. The threat is over. Attack the Detroit Lions. So it's something to monitor, though, because if Gordon plays, I actually might like Gordon at 54 a little bit more. Because if he's healthy enough to play, he's going to get the opportunities. Or at the very least, he'll cut into Javonte Williams' upside. So Melvin Gordon's injury is definitely something to monitor. And then one last guy I want to bring up, which is why I revised my original sentence when we were talking about Tennessee Jacksonville. James Robinson at only 58, crazy involved in obviously the rushing because he's the RB1, but still very involved in the passing game. And Tennessee's got some weaknesses on their defense. So, and Tennessee especially, very likely a favorite. Let me double check the line on that. Where are we at here? Yeah, Tennessee's 9-point home favorites. So Jacksonville's going to have to catch up, and James Robinson is very much part of that game plan. So I actually think James Robinson is a very interesting pivot off of what will likely be a pretty chalky play in Javonte Williams because of the game that Javonte had last week. So I think you can get some leverage by going with James Robinson, and Robinson might have more upside than Javonte if Melvin Gordon plays.
Yeah, it's funny because like the one pick that I have, and they're literally like all bunched up right next to each other, is going to be Chuba Hubbard. We know what he's all about. He's a pretty darn good running back. Again, McCaffrey's out. I don't think they're gonna design plays around Cam Newton where he's gonna be running that much. I think it's more like gonna be a scramble thing. So I don't think his yardage is gonna get vultured from that. I think Hubbard is gonna get a decent workload this week, and like the times he was out, he did perform well enough. 459. Yeah, if he was anything higher, if he was like in the mid 6,000s or something, I would be looking somewhere else. Like I wouldn't compare him to like a Tony Pollard by any means, and he's a backup. And that's kind of sad. But yeah.
I got one more before we get into the wide receivers.
I
just noticed one more value running back that I want to talk about. Donta Foreman for the Tennessee Titans. With Derrick Henry still being out.
Where is he?
AJ. I mean, he performed. He's at 51. He performed well in the state of the offense that it was a couple weeks ago. If AJ Brown and Julio Jones play, that opens up the offense a crazy amount. And against a bad Jacksonville defense, I think Donta Foreman, he's not Derrick Henry by any means, but for 51, if he can score at least once, he'll get the yardage to well pay off that price point.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I can definitely agree with you there. Do we have any love for Adrian Peterson, who just recently got signed with the Seattle Seahawks last week? Scored a touchdown.
Yeah. How much is he?
4,700.
He needs to score a touchdown to. And even if he scores, it's maybe a 2-yard touchdown. Maybe. I wouldn't completely fade him because you can't. The dude is ageless. He's now the new Frank Gore.
Yeah, dude, he did kind of replace him, man, didn't he? And like Adrian Peterson's name sells better too. No offense to Frank Gore, but
yeah, for sure. So, yeah, that's risky for sure. I'll put it that way. I wouldn't completely fade him, but that's certainly a risky play.
Yeah. All right. We're going to be moving on to our wide receivers here. And at the very tippy top, we have Tyreek Hill at an 8,500. Again, Kansas City going against the Las Vegas Raiders. Mm-hmm. Adam, what are your thoughts?
So he's similar to a lot of the top priced guys that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Hill is in my top 3 at the wide receiver position. Going against Vegas, I mean their whole back 7 is a mess.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a pick your poison. I'm thinking that this is going to be more of a Travis Kelce week. If I'm picking between the two of them, I think I'd rather go Kelce. But if you're subscribing to the strategy of going more value at the tight end position, then Tyreek Hill is certainly a safe play there. But just for me and my feeling, the Raiders defense, again, the whole back 7 is awful, so they can hit him anywhere. But I just think it might be a little bit more of a Travis Kelce week than a Tyreek Hill week, so I might want to save my money at the wide receiver position and look elsewhere.
Gotcha, dude. Is Debo
not fading him? But
Yeah, dude, is Deebo Samuel playing this week? Going against the Bengals? I mean, even at 8,000, that's a really good play, I think.
He did not practice today.
No,
so
that's not a good sign.
not.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. And we have Allen out. And CeeDee Lamb at a 7,200. Yeah, man, I would put that in, baby.
Yeah, CD is my wide receiver one at the moment, just because of how much cheaper he is than Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I would. I think Dak and CD are probably Dak, CD, and I'll still go back to the Amari Cooper because he's only 5,900. So
really,
I'll get that value. Yeah,
man. And instead of dude, because he's at 5,900, I would much rather have Elijah Moore at the same price, going against the Saints here.
Okay, so we're just talking about all of my value picks then.
Oh,
so,
are we? Oh.
Yes, I could see that. I could see that. I have such a hard time passing up Amari Cooper under 6,000, especially with how highly I think of Dak Prescott this week.
Yeah, I mean,
it's certainly risky, but
he came off of like COVID for like 2 weeks, which is pretty long, and even he said like he didn't even feel like he was at 100%. He's been having hamstring cramps, man. He was good for literally one play, and he was pretty much gassed out, like what it looked like the rest of the game. Like he was pretty much sidelined. Man, he's risky in my opinion.
He's a little more risky even at 5,900, but still hard to pass up. But
true.
Back to the original point, CeeDee Lamb at 7,200 is a slam dunk. Probably CD at 72 is probably my favorite play on the slate.
Yeah, for sure. What more can we say? Like we talked about it already. We think that this is going to be an awesome game for the Dallas Cowboys. You gotta get their star player in there for sure. Get Terry McLaurin's up there in 7K again, dude. Just no. Like,
well, I mean,
against Dallas, what is the over under for the Dallas Washington game? It has to be like 44 or something, right?
48. No, it's 48.
Really? Okay, so they actually think Washington's going to score some points.
Yep, it's 48, and Dallas is 4.5-point road favorites. So yeah, they think they can catch up. I love Terry McLaurin. 7K. It's always just such a tough price to look at considering his quarterback. If we're talking about the Washington football team, I'd much rather play Antonio Gibson at 6,000 than Terry McLaurin at 7,000. But McLaurin's always got the upside to pay that off. But I'd rather, when we're talking about Terry McLaurin and comparing him, I'd much rather pay up just a little bit and get either CeeDee Lamb or I'd rather play Chris Godwin than Terry McLaurin. But I won't thumb my nose at him because I'm such a big fan of him. But so let me ask you this. Here's an interesting one because we're talking about guys in that range. I'm going to give you three guys. You tell me if you'd rather play them DFS over Terry McLaurin. CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Chris Godwin.
Yes.
Yeah, I would too. All right, let me ask you this. Jamar Chase.
No.
Okay.
Not this. Not this week. Yeah. Like.
Yeah, I think that additionally, if we're making an argument for Terry McLaurin, I think more people would play Jamar Chase over Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I think so too.
And so I think you could get a leverage play on that because, so my model's projecting that Jamar Chase will be higher owned than Terry McLaurin. So I think he's an interesting tournament play. I think he's risky for cash, but I think he could get you there in a GPP.
Yeah. We haven't talked about these players that much, but I think this is the week to target them, and it's going to be the Seahawks receivers, Lockett and Metcalf. Man, Metcalf hasn't done anything in weeks. Man, it's been crazy, but. Yeah. But at the same price or $200 more, I would much rather play Lockett around that price range. Only because it seems to Russell Wilson does definitely, I think, favor Lockett a bit more, and Lockett does have those deep plays, while Metcalf is, I don't know, he's more short to mid, but he does have that obviously red zone potential more than Lockett. It's kind of like you gotta pick these receivers much like Tampa Bay, where it's like who do you think is going to be the guy that week? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's harder to know for the Seahawks than it is Tampa. I think I've been pretty spot on with the Tampa Bay receivers these last few weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Seahawk receivers, man. But you need to play one of them.
Yeah, and so I'll go against you on that one. DK is much higher in my model than Tyler Lockett is.
Really? How many?
Lockett's currently projecting as my wide receiver 18. DK Metcalf is wide receiver 6. So that's quite a difference.
Is this our bet of the week?
It could be. You want a chance to get your Lions money back?
I gotta do, man. I want that money. I'll make that bet that Lockett scores higher than Metcalf.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll lock that in.
All right, it's locked in.
Yeah. All right. We gotta get a pool going.
And to be clear, I am not the betting. I am not the bettor out of the two of us here.
Yeah.
Definitely go to Adam with that advice.
Oh yeah. Ooh, college football this past weekend.
Dude,
beautiful.
That was nice.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll touch on that at the end of the
video.
Yeah,
no worries.
But so value guys. So I already touched on Amari Cooper, but the other guy that you touched on, and you're 100% right, Elijah Moore at only 5,900. Corey Davis just got put on the IR, and that was Zach Wilson's favorite target. Elijah Moore's been on an absolute tear over the last few weeks, really breaking out as a rookie wide receiver. And as bad as the Jets defense is, they're going to have to throw it if they want to keep up. So, I love Elijah Moore at only 5,900.
Yeah.
One guy, this is another guy that I talked about it a few weeks ago, and he had a great game, and I was like, I can't believe he's not priced up. And this week it's the same thing. DJ Moore's only 6,200 going against Atlanta. So if you want to subscribe to Cam Newton being the value quarterback, then I would 100% play DJ Moore in that scenario as well.
Gotcha.
Just a nuts misprice, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy because
considering their opponent.
Yeah, it's crazy because we know he's a stud too. Mm-hmm. It's like he should definitely be in like the 7,000 plus range, but again, it's not him, it's the team.
Yeah,
just kind of crazy to say. But man, I have to say my two value picks that I'm actually really liking this week, and I'll go with the more expensive one first, is actually going to be Brandon Cooks. I think this is going to be a really good matchup against Seahawks. I mean, dude, just like 33.4 points. I know it's not the highest, but it just seems like every game they're in, it's like 30 plus points they lose by.
I think Jamal. And sorry to interrupt, but I think Jamal Adams just got put on the IR too. So
is he? Awesome.
That's a big part of their secondary that's missing.
Yeah,
Cooks is up there for me. He is one spot below Elijah Moore.
What is that at?
Elijah Moore's my wide receiver 14. Cooks is 15.
Gotcha. And the other person might be a little risky, but I do like the matchup. But the QB is very suspect right now. Is Jarvis Landry? Yeah, 5,400. If you're looking for that like cheap play, I think Landry can get you there, man. Again, Baker Mayfield is very banged up, man. Like he's literally like stuck together by like duct tape at this point. But I think Landry can get you the 15 points, and Baltimore's defense just hasn't been that good recently.
That's true. Yeah, Baltimore's defense, another kind of paper tiger.
Yeah.
but 54 is kind of a tough price to eat considering the guys around him. But he could get there because even when Odell Beckham was there, Jarvis Landry has shown to be Baker Mayfield's favorite target. So
yeah, exactly.
If Baker Mayfield can throw it, then Landry can get you there.
Is he the most expensive Browns receiver?
Probably.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I couldn't imagine that there's anybody more expensive than he is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Everybody else is sub 4,000.
Dude.
So yeah, and another pro for Jarvis Landry then because they don't. I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones is a very talented wide receiver.
Yeah, he's going to go places for sure.
But
he's the third cheapest. Holy cow!
Good too. But I do have one punt play before we get into the tight ends, and it's a guy that came back recently that we were big on at the beginning of the year. And been a little disappointing since he came back, but against this defense, he could get it done. Marvin Jones is only 4,500 going against the Tennessee defense. Which has some problems. So for the same, I know I just talked about James Robinson and Marvin Jones. I'm still not interested in Trevor Lawrence, but they're going to have to throw it to catch up. So I think, and at the beginning of the year, before Marvin Jones got hurt, he was Trevor Lawrence's favorite target. So if they can get back to that, then I think Marvin Jones at 4,500. Again, because of how he's performed since his injury, I think that's why I'm considering it a punt play. But that's a good price for what you could get if he can get back to his early season form.
And Dan Arnold's gone, so 7 of those targets got to go somewhere, and
yep.
Why not Marvin Jones? You know what I mean? And but before we go on to tight ends, just real quick, do we have any love for Julio Jones coming back from IR? He hasn't been really that involved in this offense this year at all.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a
rough go.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a victim of like the Derrick Henry effect. It can because they ran the ball like 30 to 40 times a game, but.
Yeah, so I just Googled it. So it actually sounds like AJ Brown is still on the IR.
Yeah.
So because of that, yes, I would have love for Julio Jones because they don't have anybody else to throw it to.
Yeah.
I thought both of them were coming back, so in that case, probably not. But since AJ Brown is still going to be out, yes, I would still. He's still risky because when because there have been weeks where AJ Brown was out and Julio was the only guy on the field.
Yeah.
And he still didn't get anything done. But I think largely because they were like, well, we have Derrick Henry, so who cares?
Jones and him are both 5,400. I think you got to view them kind of like the same value, not just because they're the same price, but what they bring to this offense.
He gets a slight bump because I talked about Foreman as a good value, so he's still a good piece of that offense going against Jacksonville. But if you consider that Derrick Henry and AJ Brown are going to be out, then I think it's risky. But I think Julio Jones certainly has the upside.
Gotcha. Flip a coin, and on that, we're flipping over to the tight end position right now, and at the very top, again, another Chiefs player, 7,400, Travis Kelce. Going against the Las Vegas Raiders. What are we thinking? Is he worth it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this week is if we're talking about the Chiefs offense, like we talked about with the Bucs offense, and I already forgot about the other one that we were talking about, Seattle choosing, who's going to have the big week for the Chiefs. And there hasn't been a ton of big weeks, with the state of that offense that we talked about earlier when we were talking about Mahomes, but for the Chiefs, you really kind of have to choose between Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So I think Kelce is the guy between the two this week. So my model is saying that, yes, Travis Kelce is well worth it because even at his price, that much higher compared to a bunch of other tight ends, he's still showing as my tight end one. So, yeah, Travis Kelce.
Really?
I wouldn't say lock him in because that's obviously a tough price to eat at tight end, but I do think he is worth it.
Gotcha. Well, I have to say, and it's still my number one, and forever will be in my heart. Is probably Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
Even though he's 6,000, he's jumped up like I think 800 and then another 600 ever since he got back from the IR. I think Gronk's a stud. If you can't tell, Tom, like they just seem to got back on track like super quickly. Tom and Gronk's mind meld, man, and against this Buffalo defense, man, that allows the second highest of 27.8 points to tight ends. Freaking lock it in, baby.
Yeah, he's my tight end 3 at the moment, just behind Mark Andrews. I think because Mark Andrews is just a little cheaper. But there's certainly a scenario where Gronkowski has more upside than Andrews. I mean, obviously he's had it more over the past few weeks, but if you watch that Cleveland-Baltimore game from just a couple weeks ago, both of those quarterbacks looked ugly. I tweeted out that because that was the week that the Jets played Houston and Zach Wilson threw the butt interception.
Oh, jeez.
And I was just like, Zach Wilson threw a butt interception, and he still looks better than both of these quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield. That was just such a crazy, ugly game to watch. But all that being said, Mark Andrews in a normal format, still a good tight end. But I agree with you that Gronk, they just seem to be clicking right now. So there's something to be said for riding the hot hand. Any value guys that you like outside of the top guys for the tight end?
I really only see one, and that's going to be Gerald Everett. He's 3,500. He kind of has been stepping up recently and causing some separations, and he's been looked at quite a few times now, and like for red zone targets, he's even caught one. I don't think it's the worst play, especially. Yeah, is Disley even on this list? No, he's a non-factor. Okay. Yeah. So I think Everett's. I think he's in a decent spot. Don't expect anything spectacular out of him. I don't. I think. Yeah, man. Like this guy will get you like 10 points. I think he's going to be kind of like Dan Arnold-ish, except targeted sparingly. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Just 2 that I'll touch on. Dawson Knox is only 5,000.
Yeah.
For Buffalo, he gets a ton of targets in the red zone. So all he has to do is come down with it once, and boom, your 5,000 is good to go. And then another guy in the same range of Everett, Jared Cook's only 3,200, and we talked about how Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both just got put on the reserve list.
Yeah.
So the targets got to go somewhere. I think more of them will go to Austin Eckler, but Jared Cook at only 3,200.
Who knows, man? They could probably go like double tight end offense. Start good.
Yeah, he's been very touchdown dependent, but given the shortage that they have at wide receiver this week, Jared Cook I think is an incredible value at 3,200.
Is Logan Thomas playing?
No, he got re-injured last week, so I think he's done for the year.
Oh, really?
He came back last week and then he got hurt again. So I can't say 100% that's the case, but I'd be very surprised unless they make the playoffs if we see Logan Thomas again this year.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Well, we don't have our defense here again. Just go with our method, try to find the most relatively cheap person that you can think you can survive points on.
Yeah,
but
I'll touch on a couple.
Yeah, you got your list in front of you.
Yeah, so my top one, and this is my favorite one. I picked them up in nearly all of my season-long leagues. The Denver Broncos hosting the Detroit Lions.
I was going to say that too.
Yeah, 3,800. Denver's a tough place to play anyway, and now it's December, so it's even tougher the colder that it gets. And again, Detroit finally got their first win, so you can start attacking the Detroit Lions because they are a very bad football team. I just didn't want to attack them because they could always get their first win somewhere. Now that they've got it in the books, they may very well lose the rest of their games. But so Denver at 3,800 is my favorite defensive play on the week. And then value-wise,
Lions.
Yeah, this is Well, I mean, Denver,
what are they at? Like 23 right now?
24.
Ooh,
Got
hey,
priced up.
yeah.
Look at you.
Hey, man, that's what happens when you win.
Yeah, most of these ones up here are kind of it's kind of like last week where it was like, yeah, you kind of want to pay up a little bit for defense, but just trying to see if there's any that kind of catch my eye in the value area. Gross. Baltimore's only 2,800. They, as much of a paper tiger as we mentioned,
Yeah.
they have Cleveland's number. So if Baker Mayfield falls on his face again, 2,800. That's probably my favorite one among the ones that are under 2,300. But all these other ones are into 3,000s. Denver at 38, New Orleans at 36. Tennessee at 37. So.
Yeah.
But Denver is what I'll have the most exposure to for sure this week on the defensive side.
Well, nice. All right, you heard it here. And we like to do this at the end, you know, a little rapid-fire gut check bet time. And, man, pull it up, Adam.
I got it. I already got it. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
We're going to start with the hottest team in football. The Detroit Lions are going to Denver and facing the Broncos. The over-under is 42.5. Over or under?
Under. No,
Yeah,
you know
under.
what? No, you know what? No, over.
Okay. You got faith. All right. Denver. Denver is 10-point home favorites. I'd really like to know the last time they were double-digit favorites to anybody.
Peyton Manning era.
Yeah, probably. All right, so Denver, 10-point home favorites. Do they cover that?
I think they cover, but I think Lions are going to win.
Well, they couldn't cover if the Lions are going to win.
Wait, I think I messed that up then. Yeah,
Denver
give me
is 10-point home favorites.
Wait, meaning no. Okay, yeah, hold on. No, give me Lions. Still give me Lions. Give me Lions to win.
I'll take Denver minus the points. I got my Lions bet in. I'm good.
This just feels like a game like Denver would lose too.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. It does.
Like I even said that with the Vikings game, but I was like, whatever.
Yeah. All right. The Kansas City Chiefs are hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. Over/under is 48.
Ooh. Where are they? Are they at the Chiefs or are they
Kansas City? Kansas City.
Give me under.
Yeah, I'll take the under on that one too. Both. The Chiefs' offense just. Ugh.
Yeah.
Kansas City is 9.5-point home favorites.
Nah, man. Give me Raiders. I think this will be another upset.
On that one too. Yeah. All right. The Carolina Panthers hosting the Atlanta Falcons. Over/under is 42.5.
Oh man. Give me over.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over on that one too.
Yeah.
Carolina 2.5-point home favorites.
Give me Falcons, man. Without Christian McCaffrey, man, I don't know.
I'll take Carolina to cover there. The Washington football team hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Over/under is 48.
Give me over.
Yeah, I'll take the over on that one too. Cowboys are 4.5-point road favorites.
That's crazy. It's only 4. But give me Cowboys to cover. Yeah.
Give me I like my home underdogs. Give me the football team to cover.
All right.
The New York Jets are hosting the New Orleans Saints. Over/under is 42.5.
42.5. Man, you know what? Give me under and give me the Jets.
Ooh, okay. So
Yeah.
New Orleans is 5.5-point road favorite. So you're taking the Jets to cover that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Saints there. This is that hurts to say, but this is going to be a bad week for the Jets. The Tennessee Titans hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over/under 43.5.
Yeah, give me under.
Has
the Jags scored over like 24 points in a game?
I think they did in that Thursday night game when we predicted the Trevor Lawrence breakout.
Oh yeah,
Um, but other than that,
yeah,
if
man,
they
no,
have,
yeah,
it's been very infrequent.
this is under.
Yeah, I would take the under in this one too. Tennessee 9-point home favorites.
Ooh, yeah, give me Tennessee still.
Okay. Yeah, I would take Tennessee there too. The Cincinnati Bengals hosting the San Francisco 49ers over under 48.5.
Give me the 49ers. Oh, sorry, wait, 49 and a half?
48.5.
40. Oh, geez. Yeah, give me over on that.
I'm going to take the under on that one. The 49ers are 1.5-point road favorites.
Really? Yeah, give me Niners.
Yeah, I'll take the Bengals on that one. The Houston Texans hosting the Seattle Seahawks over under. This is the lowest on the slate, 41.
Yikes! I think it can go over.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Seattle is 8.5 point road favorites.
Yeah, give me Seattle. Or do you think this is going to be a crazy Houston upset win?
I mean, I certainly hope so because the Jets have Seattle's first round pick. So, so yeah, give me the home dogs, Houston 8.5. I'll take that. So we'll go from the lowest over under to the highest over under. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the Buffalo Bills. Over under is 53.5.
Dang, that is really high. Give me over.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over on that one too. Tampa Bay 3.5-point home favorites.
Man, this is getting hard. Give me Buffalo.
Yeah, I'll take Buffalo there too.
Yeah.
There's so much of a battle in the AFC for that top spot, like we talked about. All right.
Yeah, exactly. This is a game they have to win.
All right, so this game is going to be very rough to watch. Missing Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Daniel Jones is also not playing, if that makes a difference for your picks here. The Los Angeles Chargers hosting the New York Giants. Over under is 43.
Oh wow, that's low. They're going to be using Austin Eckler a lot. Give me over.
I'm going to take the under on that one.
Yeah.
Chargers are 10-point home favorites.
Yeah, give me Chargers.
Yeah, same. All right, and then finally on the main slate, we have the Cleveland Browns hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Over under is 43.
Ooh, give me Ravens.
Well, over under is 43.
Oh, sorry, so man. Give me under.
I'll take the over on that one. Cleveland is 2.5-point home favorites.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Against the Ravens?
Yeah.
Give me Ravens.
Yeah, I would stay away from that because that seems like it's too good to be true. But just for the sake of a pick here, yeah, I'll take the Ravens. I would take the Ravens money line.
What are the odds? Like, what are the winning odds?
The Ravens are at plus 117 money line, so not like crazy value, but like it's above even. So
yeah,
yeah, I would probably take the Ravens money line there.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, a general rule of mine is if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So I probably would stay away from that spread because that seems
this game is cursed. Don't
obvious.
do it.
Yeah,
turn away.
So, yeah. So yeah, that's where I'll go, and that'll wrap it up. So again, thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little alert so that you get notified once this video gets uploaded. Like we mentioned, like and comment. We always like to get some interaction on here. And then obviously join our Discord. The link will be in the description below. It's 100% free. It's just a bunch of people talking about different sports, whether it's daily fantasy or general gambling picks. And we have something for everybody. Obviously, Danger and I do NFL. I do NASCAR. Danger dabbles in esports, and then we got NBA, MLB, college football, college basketball, all that kind of stuff and more. So make sure you join that as well for our final rankings, because again, it's 100% free, no monthly membership or anything like that. Danger, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, man, let's just get out there and make some money.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for watching, and you already know what to do. We went over it enough, so good luck this weekend, and we will see you next week.
See you next week, everybody.